Tartaria was a lost global empire. That's the claim at the heart of one of the most captivating and surreal conspiracy theories circulating online. According to believers, Tartaria wasn't just a forgotten kingdom or obscure civilization. It was a vast, technologically advanced empire that once spanned the globe. Its architecture, culture, and innovations were far ahead of their time. But then, something happened. Something erased Tartaria from the history books, wiped its name from maps, and rewrote the story of human civilization. Supporters of the Tartaria theory point to strange inconsistencies in historical records. Buildings from the 18th and 19th centuries, with immense scale and intricate designs, massive domes, giant columns, ornate facades, are labeled as products of relatively undeveloped societies. How, they ask, did horse and buggy cultures build structures that resemble futuristic cathedrals or ancient megastructures? They argue that these buildings weren't built by the people credited with them, but were inherited from Tartarian cities. Some even believe that global events like the World's Fairs were cover stories, elaborate performances used to hide the true origins of these buildings. According to this theory, the World's Fairs were organized not to showcase new inventions, but to destroy Tartarian architecture under the guise of celebration and progress. Mainstream historians dismiss these claims as pseudo-history, pointing out the well-documented evolution of architecture and technology. But Tartaria believers see that dismissal as part of the cover-up. They suggest that a global conspiracy, perhaps involving secret societies or elite institutions, actively erased Tartaria from collective memory. It's a theory born from old maps, unexplained ruins, and a deep skepticism toward the official version of history. Whether it's a forgotten truth or an elaborate fantasy, Tartaria continues to fascinate those who look at the world and wonder what's been left out of the story. Reptilian Shape-Shifters. The theory claims that a race of extraterrestrial beings, reptilian in form, capable of changing their appearance, has infiltrated the highest levels of human society. Presidents, prime ministers, celebrities, and royalty, many of them, believers say, are not human at all, but lizard-like creatures in disguise, manipulating world events from behind the curtain. The idea exploded into public consciousness, largely thanks to David Icke, a former footballer and television presenter turned conspiracy theorist. He proposed that these reptilian beings, originating from the Draco constellation, have been controlling humanity for thousands of years. According to this theory, they use deception and advanced technology to blend into human society, hiding in plain sight. Their goal isn't just control, it's energy. Some say these beings feed off human fear and suffering, and our chaos is their nourishment. Supporters of the theory point to odd behavior in public figures, a strange flicker in a politician's eye during a press conference, a news broadcast where a celebrity's face appears to glitch. To believers, these aren't technical errors. They're moments when the mask slips. They claim that ancient cultures left behind hints of reptilian gods and snake-like deities, not as myth, but as warnings. Critics say it's a modern-day mythology, born from distrust in power and fueled by internet echo chambers. But for those who believe, the reptilian conspiracy isn't just science fiction, it's the hidden truth about who really runs the world. They see a war not just between nations, but between species, one cold-blooded and ancient, the other unaware it's even being hunted. The rapture was cancelled. At least, that's what a bizarre and intriguing conspiracy theory claims. The rapture, long anticipated by certain religious communities as the divine event where true believers would ascend directly into heaven, leaving behind an apocalyptic earth, was supposedly scheduled, then abruptly called off or postponed. Believers in this conspiracy say the signs were clear. natural disasters increasing, political upheaval spreading, and mysterious trumpet sounds heard globally. But then, without warning, everything stopped. The expected mass ascension didn't happen, the sky remained quiet, and life on Earth continued as usual, chaotic but unchanged. The theory argues that the rapture was intentionally halted, either by a divine decision or interference by powerful forces operating behind the scenes. Some claim that humanity wasn't ready or worthy, so the event was postponed to give more people a chance at redemption. Others suggest a more sinister angle. Secret societies or elite groups managed to delay the rapture to maintain their control over humanity. Skeptics dismiss the idea entirely, viewing it as a coping mechanism or an excuse for failed prophecies. Yet those who support the theory feel it explains why predicted dates of the end times have repeatedly come and gone without fulfillment. It provides a reason why, despite clear signs and prophecies, nothing has occurred. Whether it's seen as comforting or alarming, the idea of the rapture being cancelled adds another layer to how people interpret global events and uncertainties. For believers, it means the countdown has been paused, but not stopped entirely. They remain vigilant, looking for signs of the rescheduled event, convinced that the truth is hidden, waiting quietly in the background. TV static is spirit energy. That's the core idea behind one of the stranger and more haunting conspiracy theories floating around. According to believers, that familiar black and white fuzz you see when your television loses signal isn't just random noise, it's a direct glimpse into the spirit world. This theory argues that electronic static serves as a sort of portal or medium, allowing entities from other dimensions to briefly manifest. Some believers suggest that spirits, ghosts, or even beings trapped between realities communicate through these patterns, attempting to reach out to the living. The concept gained popularity in paranormal communities, especially among ghost hunters who use electronic devices, such as spirit boxes or EVP recorders, to capture mysterious voices hidden in static. They claim these voices belong to the deceased, desperately trying to make contact. Supporters also point to personal experiences, describing eerie feelings or seeing shadowy figures flicker briefly within the static on their screens. Mainstream science explains static simply as electromagnetic interference, a result of random background radiation left over from the Big Bang, known as cosmic microwave background radiation. Yet, proponents of the theory interpret this cosmic signal differently, seeing it as proof of invisible energies constantly surrounding us, hidden just beyond human perception. For believers, TV static isn't random noise, it's a reminder that we're never truly alone. They see it as evidence of a world parallel to our own, filled with entities endlessly reaching out through channels we don't yet fully understand. It's a chilling, captivating thought that every time we change channels, we might be brushing up against the unknown. Jesus was an alien hybrid. That's the provocative idea at the heart of a fascinating conspiracy theory that blends religious history with extraterrestrial speculation. According to believers, Jesus Christ wasn't purely human, nor was he entirely divine. He was instead a hybrid being, genetically engineered by advanced alien visitors. Supporters of this theory point to the unusual events surrounding Jesus' life, his miraculous birth, his supernatural abilities, his resurrection, as evidence of extraterrestrial intervention. They argue that biblical accounts of angels descending from the sky could easily describe alien visitations. Mary's Immaculate Conception, they suggest, was actually an advanced form of genetic manipulation by these otherworldly beings. Proponents also highlight ancient artworks depicting strange objects in the sky during pivotal biblical scenes. They claim these images represent UFO sightings, hinting at alien involvement in human religious history. Some even link this theory to the Anunnaki, an alien race believed by some to have influenced early civilizations, suggesting that Jesus was part of their ongoing experiment with humanity. Critics view the theory as a modern myth, born from combining contemporary fascination with aliens and traditional religious stories. They argue that interpreting biblical miracles through an alien lens is simply imaginative storytelling rather than historical fact. Yet for those who embrace it, the alien hybrid theory explains the mysteries surrounding Jesus' life and legacy. They see his teachings of compassion and higher consciousness as messages from beings attempting to elevate humanity toward a more enlightened existence. Whether true or not, it challenges traditional narratives and asks believers to reconsider what they know about faith, history, and the possibility of life beyond Earth. The real world is a simulation. That's the captivating and unsettling conspiracy theory, suggesting our entire existence, everything we see, touch, feel, and know, is nothing more than an elaborate, artificial construct. According to believers, reality as we understand it is actually an advanced digital simulation created by an unknown civilization or intelligence far beyond our comprehension. Proponents of the simulation hypothesis point to several curious clues: glitches in reality like déjà vu, strange coincidences, or even unexplained phenomena that seem too perfect or too improbable to be accidental. Some argue that quantum physics itself hints at this idea, suggesting reality behaves like computer code when observed closely. Others reference rapid advancements in virtual reality technology as evidence we're approaching a similar ability to create lifelike simulations ourselves. This theory gained mainstream attention through figures like philosopher Nick Bostrom and billionaire Elon Musk, who argue that statistically, it's highly probable we're already living inside an artificial reality constructed by a highly evolved species. Believers wonder if our creators are observing us, conducting experiments, or perhaps simply watching us live our simulated lives as entertainment. Critics dismiss the simulation theory as unprovable, suggesting it's simply a modern-day philosophical puzzle impossible to confirm or deny. Yet its supporters find comfort or dread in the idea, believing it might explain mysteries of consciousness, the origins of life, and the ultimate meaning behind our existence. Whether it's true or not, the simulation hypothesis challenges our deepest assumptions about life and reality, leaving us with a profound question: if everything we experience is artificial, would we even want to know? Monarch mind control. That's the chilling conspiracy theory, alleging that secret government agencies developed a covert psychological program to control the minds of unsuspecting individuals, named after the monarch butterfly, symbolizing transformation. This supposed project is said to use trauma-based methods to create split personalities, turning subjects into programmable agents. Supporters of the theory claim that monarch mind control evolved from earlier experiments, like the infamous MK-Ultra program. They argue that the CIA and other intelligence groups discovered ways to break down the human psyche using severe trauma, drugs, hypnosis, and sensory deprivation, then implant commands deep within the subconscious. Victims, known as monarch slaves, are allegedly activated by specific triggers, carrying out missions without conscious awareness. Believers point to Hollywood celebrities, musicians, and even politicians exhibiting strange behaviors, public breakdowns, or sudden personality shifts as evidence of monarch programming. They highlight symbolic imagery, such as butterflies' mirrors or fractured mirrors, in media as clues deliberately placed by handlers. Critics reject monarch mind control as a sensationalized myth, a misinterpretation of known psychological phenomena combined with conspiracy paranoia. While MK-Ultra was real and documented, skeptics argue there's no credible proof of monarch programming itself, seeing it as fiction born from fear of government secrecy. Yet, to those who accept the theory, Monarch mind control reveals a hidden reality, one in which powerful organizations manipulate individuals for dark agendas. It poses disturbing questions about freedom, identity, and the extent of secret experimentation, suggesting that beneath society's surface, forces may be silently pulling strings we can't even see. Atlantis was real and advanced. That's the core claim behind a conspiracy theory, suggesting that the legendary city of Atlantis wasn't just a myth. It was an actual, technologically superior civilization that once existed on Earth. Believers argue that Atlantis possessed knowledge far beyond anything else at the time, including powerful energy sources, incredible engineering skills, and perhaps even contact with extraterrestrial beings. The idea originates with Plato, the ancient Greek philosopher who described Atlantis as an island nation that sank beneath the waves in a single night. But conspiracy theorists take Plato's tale as historical fact, suggesting Atlantis was deliberately erased from history due to its advanced technology threatening other societies or secret groups who wanted to control humanity's development. Supporters point to mysterious underwater structures, such as the submerged ruins near the Bahamas or the enigmatic Yonaguni Monument off Japan's coast, claiming these are remnants of Atlantean cities. They argue mainstream historians and archaeologists dismiss Atlantis because acknowledging its existence would rewrite human history entirely. Critics see the theory as a modern myth, combining our fascination with lost civilizations and hidden knowledge into one compelling but unsupported narrative. They argue that supposed Atlantean ruins can be explained by natural geological processes rather than ancient human engineering. Yet believers insist Atlantis's legacy lives on, hidden in ancient symbols, architecture, and secret teachings passed down through history. They view the lost civilization as a forgotten pinnacle of human achievement, whose true story, if uncovered, could change everything we think we know about our past, our potential, and perhaps even our future. The Tower of Babel was a Stargate. That's the fascinating conspiracy theory proposing that the legendary biblical structure wasn't just a tower reaching into the sky. It was an advanced portal or gateway used for travel between dimensions or distant worlds. Believers argue the Tower of Babel described in the Book of Genesis wasn't merely an ambitious architectural project. It was humanity's attempt to access technology far beyond their understanding. According to the theory, the reason God intervened, scattering people and confusing their language, wasn't punishment for pride, but rather an effort to prevent humanity from misusing powerful extraterrestrial technology. Some suggest ancient civilizations received advanced knowledge from alien visitors, enabling them to construct portals like the Tower of Babel to reconnect with these beings or explore other worlds. Supporters claim that archaeological discoveries, such as ziggurats or ancient pyramids across the globe, reflect attempts to replicate or reactivate these stargates. They argue that certain sacred sites around the world, like Egypt's pyramids or Stonehenge, share similar alignments or designs, hinting at their role as ancient interdimensional gateways. Critics view the idea as pure speculation, blending religious texts with modern sci-fi concepts. They argue that the Tower of Babel story is symbolic, representing human arrogance or ambition, rather than literal historical events involving advanced alien technology. Yet, for those who embrace the Stargate theory, the Tower of Babel symbolizes humanity's ongoing quest for cosmic connection and hidden knowledge. They see our fascination with portals, space travel, and mysterious ancient sites as echoes of a forgotten truth, one suggesting that long ago humans may have unlocked doors to places we can scarcely imagine. CERN opened a portal. That's the captivating conspiracy theory, claiming that the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, the massive particle physics laboratory in Switzerland, has secretly created a gateway to another dimension. Believers argue that CERN's experiments, officially intended to study subatomic particles, actually unlocked a portal that allowed beings or energies from parallel universes to enter our own. Supporters point to unusual occurrences around the time CERN activated the collider, including strange weather phenomena, reports of increased paranormal activity, and even supposed shifts in reality. Some theorists link the Mandela Effect, mass misremembering of historical events, to CERN's alleged manipulation of reality itself, suggesting that experiments at the collider merged or altered timelines. Proponents reference symbolic rituals and imagery used by CERN, including the statue of the Hindu deity Shiva, associated with creation and destruction, displayed prominently at the laboratory entrance. They view this as evidence that CERN's true goal isn't merely scientific discovery, but opening a doorway to other dimensions, perhaps deliberately, perhaps inadvertently. Critics dismiss these claims as sensationalist interpretations of complex scientific research, emphasizing that no credible evidence supports the idea of portals or alternate dimensions being opened at CERN. They argue that particle collisions at the facility, while groundbreaking scientifically, don't possess the power or intent to alter reality itself. Yet for believers, CERN's experiments hint at hidden truths about the universe, dimensions, and humanity's role in reality. They suggest we're only beginning to glimpse the consequences of tampering with the fabric of existence, raising unsettling questions about what might have stepped through and what else might come next. Freemasons built America as a ritual landscape. That's the fascinating conspiracy theory proposing that the United States was intentionally designed and constructed by Freemasons to reflect ancient esoteric symbols, rituals, and hidden power structures. Believers argue that America's founding fathers, many of whom were Freemasons, encoded secret messages and mystical symbolism into the very layout of cities, buildings, and monuments. According to this theory, Washington, D.C., in particular, was carefully planned as a giant occult ritual space. Proponents point to symbols hidden in plain sight, street layouts forming Masonic symbols, obelisks, like the Washington Monument, representing ancient Egyptian power, and even architectural alignments, corresponding to astrological or mystical patterns. Believers suggest these hidden elements aren't merely decorative, they're designed to channel energies, influence events, or preserve secret knowledge passed down through the centuries. Some even argue that these symbolic landscapes are part of a larger, ongoing ritual meant to maintain Freemasonic control over society. Critics dismiss this theory as imaginative speculation, pointing out that historical city planning often included classical symbolism without any occult intent. They argue these supposed secrets are merely coincidences or artistic expressions rather than evidence of a hidden agenda. Yet for those convinced, the idea that America is an intentional ritual landscape reveals a deeper history, suggesting that the nation's true purpose isn't just political or economic, but spiritual and symbolic. They see the Freemasons as architects, not only of buildings, but of reality itself, quietly shaping the destiny of America behind the scenes. Flat Earth. It's one of the most controversial and enduring conspiracy theories around, claiming that our planet isn't a spinning sphere orbiting the sun, but rather a stationary, flat disk surrounded by an ice wall. Believers argue we've been deliberately deceived by governments, scientists, and space agencies, all collaborating to hide Earth's true shape. Supporters point to what they see as evidence for a flat Earth: the horizon appearing flat from our viewpoint, airplane routes supposedly making more sense on a flat map, and doubts about space exploration itself, claiming NASA fakes its imagery and missions. They assert that gravity doesn't exist. Instead, Earth is accelerating upwards, creating the illusion of gravity. Many flat earthers suggest the motive behind this massive deception is control, by convincing humanity we're insignificant beings on a tiny globe, in endless space. We're easier to manipulate. They see revealing Earth's true shape as a key to awakening collective consciousness and breaking the supposed power of hidden global elites. Critics and scientists dismiss the flat Earth theory as demonstrably false, easily disproven by physics, astronomy, and even everyday observations. Satellite imagery, global navigation systems, and centuries of scientific research confirm the Earth is spherical. Yet, believers remain undeterred, convinced they're uncovering an immense hidden truth. To them, the flat Earth isn't just about geography, it's about challenging established authority, reclaiming knowledge, and discovering a reality they believe has been deliberately obscured. The Mandela Effect. It's a conspiracy theory that describes the bizarre phenomenon of large groups of people collectively misremembering events, details, or facts from history. Named after Nelson Mandela, who many vividly recall dying in prison during the 1980s, despite him actually passing away in 2013. The theory argues these collective false memories aren't simply mistakes or coincidences. Believers in the Mandela Effect suggest these discrepancies are evidence of parallel universes or alternate realities merging together, causing subtle but noticeable shifts in our timeline. Common examples include people remembering the children's book series The Berenstain Bears as the Berenstain Bears, or recalling famous movie quotes incorrectly, like the Star Wars line, "Luke, I am your father," which never actually appeared exactly as remembered. Some theorists propose CERN's experiments at the Large Hadron Collider cause these alternate realities to blend, altering our shared history. Others believe it hints at simulated reality, where glitches reveal changes in the digital fabric of our existence. Critics dismiss the Mandela Effect as simple human error, faulty memory, or social reinforcement, causing widespread misconceptions. Cognitive psychologists call it confabulation, explaining how our minds naturally create false memories to fill gaps or uncertainties. Yet, for those who experience it, the Mandela Effect feels undeniably strange, like glimpsing through a tear in the fabric of reality. To believers, it's proof that history isn't fixed, but fluid, that perhaps the world we remember isn't exactly the one we inhabit today. Astrology was suppressed by science. That's the intriguing conspiracy theory, suggesting that astrology, the ancient study of how celestial bodies influence human lives, was deliberately discredited and hidden by the scientific establishment. Believers claim astrology isn't just a harmless pseudoscience or superstition. It holds powerful truths about human nature, destiny, and the universe itself. Proponents argue that astrology was intentionally marginalized during the rise of modern science, as powerful institutions feared its potential to empower individuals. By labeling astrology as irrational or unscientific, these institutions allegedly stripped away knowledge that could disrupt established power structures, freeing people from dependency on conventional authority. Supporters point to astrology's widespread practice in ancient civilizations, from Babylonian astrologers advising kings to Renaissance scholars who integrated astrology with astronomy, as proof of its validity and importance. They suggest modern skepticism is carefully engineered to erase these historical truths. Critics dismiss the theory, arguing astrology was displaced by science simply because it lacked empirical evidence and predictive accuracy. Scientists contend that astrology doesn't withstand rigorous testing, attributing its popularity to psychological factors like confirmation bias and subjective interpretation. Yet for believers, the suppression theory explains why astrology still resonates today. They feel the stars reveal hidden layers of reality, patterns in our lives influenced by cosmic forces we've forgotten how to understand. To them, reclaiming astrology is not merely about personal guidance, but about uncovering knowledge that was purposefully buried, reconnecting humanity with the deeper rhythms of the universe. Crop circles are alien messages. That's the fascinating conspiracy theory, proposing that mysterious patterns appearing overnight in fields around the world aren't simply elaborate hoaxes or natural phenomena, but intentional communications from extraterrestrial beings. Believers argue these intricate designs serve as cosmic messages, symbols, or warnings from civilizations beyond our understanding. Supporters of this theory point to the complexity and precision of genuine crop circles, suggesting that their perfect geometry, mathematical ratios, and encoded symbols could never be achieved by human pranksters alone. Some claim crop circles contain hidden scientific knowledge or prophetic information meant to guide or warn humanity about our future. They reference instances of strange electromagnetic readings within crop circles, eyewitness reports of glowing orbs appearing nearby, and sudden changes in plant biology, such as stalks being bent rather than broken, as evidence of non-human origins. Critics dismiss crop circles as hoaxes created by human artists and pranksters, pointing to numerous instances where individuals have openly demonstrated how easily such designs can be faked, using simple tools like boards and ropes. Skeptics argue the phenomenon relies heavily on human imagination and a desire to believe in something extraordinary. Yet for those who insist on the extraterrestrial explanation, crop circles remain a deeply compelling mystery. They see these elaborate patterns not as mere rural art projects, but as interstellar communications, carefully crafted signals sent across space and time, inviting humanity to listen closely and decipher messages from the stars. The moon landing was faked. That's the enduring conspiracy theory suggesting that NASA never actually sent astronauts to the moon, and the entire Apollo mission footage from 1969 was staged on a film set. Believers argue the US government orchestrated this elaborate hoax to win the space race against the Soviet Union and establish global dominance in technology and politics. Supporters of the theory often point to alleged anomalies in the official NASA photos and videos, such as shadows appearing inconsistent, a suspiciously waving American flag despite no atmosphere, and missing stars in the lunar sky as evidence of fabrication. They question how astronauts survived radiation in the Van Allen belts and cite supposed whistleblowers hinting at the truth. Some theorists even suggest famous filmmaker Stanley Kubrick directed the staged landings, claiming subtle clues hidden in his films indicate his involvement. According to this view, Kubrick felt conflicted and subtly confessed through symbolism in movies like The Shining. Scientists and historians overwhelmingly reject these claims, providing extensive documentation, physical samples, and third-party observations confirming the reality of the moon landings. They explain anomalies cited by conspiracy theorists as misunderstandings of lighting, camera technology, and lunar conditions. Yet, the moon landing hoax theory persists, fueled by distrust of government institutions and human fascination with uncovering hidden truths. For believers, the idea that one of humanity's greatest achievements might be an elaborate deception raises disturbing questions about trust, truth, and the lengths to which power might go to control public perception. Adrenochrome harvesting. It's one of the darkest conspiracy theories circulating today, alleging that powerful elites secretly harvest a chemical called adrenochrome from terrified human victims, often children, for use as a drug or to achieve eternal youth. According to believers, adrenochrome, a real compound produced by the oxidation of adrenaline, is extracted in horrific rituals where intense fear is induced to maximize potency. Supporters argue that Hollywood celebrities, wealthy politicians, and influential figures participate in these secretive ceremonies, driven by addiction or the pursuit of prolonged life and vitality. They claim the hidden symbolism of adrenochrome is embedded in movies, music videos, and popular media, suggesting these elites mockingly flaunt their actions right in front of the public eye. The theory gained widespread attention due to its association with the QAnon movement, which believes a global cabal engages in these practices behind closed doors. Believers frequently point to alleged evidence, such as unusual behaviors or appearances among celebrities, leaked documents, or coded language in media, as proof of this sinister conspiracy. Critics dismiss adrenochrome harvesting as baseless, dangerous misinformation, lacking credible evidence, and rooted in urban legend rather than reality. They warn that spreading such theories can fuel paranoia, mistrust, and even violence. Yet for those who accept this chilling scenario, adrenochrome harvesting represents the ultimate corruption of power and humanity, a hidden nightmare lurking beneath society's surface, kept alive by secrecy, fear, and disbelief. All major religions share a hidden origin. That's the intriguing conspiracy theory claiming that beneath the surface, differences between Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, and other faiths, lies a single, ancient truth, deliberately hidden from humanity. Believers argue this suppressed wisdom was once universally known, but powerful groups intentionally fragmented and distorted it, creating divisions to maintain control. Proponents point to common themes found across religions, such as stories of a great flood, divine beings visiting Earth, and savior figures performing miracles, as proof of a shared forgotten origin. They claim ancient civilizations received profound spiritual teachings from advanced extraterrestrial beings, or a lost global civilization, which later became corrupted into separate religions. Some theorists argue that symbols like pyramids, serpents, and celestial alignments, appearing consistently in ancient religious sites worldwide, indicate a universal secret language of spirituality. They suggest secret societies or hidden priesthoods preserve the original teachings, using religion as a tool to distract and divide humanity. Critics dismiss this theory as imaginative speculation, stating similarities across religions merely reflect universal human experiences and cultural exchanges, rather than a deliberate conspiracy. Religious scholars argue that faiths evolved independently, shaped by geography, culture, and historical events. Yet, for those convinced, the theory reveals a profound secret. Humanity was once united in spiritual knowledge, now buried under centuries of deliberate confusion. They believe uncovering this hidden truth could transform human consciousness, ending divisions and ushering in a new era of enlightenment. Human sacrifice among global elites. It's one of the darkest and most disturbing conspiracy theories, alleging that powerful, secretive groups, politicians, celebrities, and influential figures engage in ritual human sacrifices. Believers claim these elite circles carry out these horrific acts to maintain power, wealth, or even to gain supernatural favor from hidden entities. Supporters point to historical practices of human sacrifice within ancient civilizations, arguing that these rituals never truly ended, but instead evolved into secret ceremonies practiced by modern elites. They suggest events like exclusive gatherings, secret societies, and secluded retreats, such as the infamous Bohemian Grove, are where such dark ceremonies take place today. Believers often highlight symbolism in media, music videos, films, and public performances as coded references to these sacrifices. They argue tragic or suspicious celebrity deaths and disappearances of vulnerable individuals are connected to these hidden rituals, intended to fuel occult powers or maintain control over society. Critics vehemently dismiss the theory as a dangerous fantasy, emphasizing a complete lack of credible evidence supporting such shocking allegations. They see it as harmful misinformation that fuels paranoia and mistrust. Yet, for those convinced, this theory reveals a terrifying hidden layer beneath the surface of power and influence. They believe human sacrifice among global elites isn't merely history or myth, it's an ongoing practice, carefully concealed behind secrecy, privilege, and disbelief. Ley lines are real, and power ancient structures. That's the compelling conspiracy theory proposing that a hidden network of energy lines, known as ley lines, runs beneath the Earth's surface, connecting sacred sites, monuments, and ancient structures around the globe. Believers argue these lines channel mystical or magnetic energies, influencing everything from spiritual practices to global events. Supporters of this theory point to the precise alignment of ancient monuments like Stonehenge, the Great Pyramid of Giza, Machu Picchu, and even cathedrals and temples around the world, suggesting these weren't random locations, but intentionally placed to harness Earth's natural power. They claim civilizations of the past understood these energies, using ley lines to enhance spiritual rituals, communication, healing, or even advanced technologies lost to modern knowledge. Believers often reference experiences of heightened spiritual awareness, paranormal phenomena, and measurable electromagnetic anomalies occurring at these points. They suggest that certain governments or secret societies are aware of ley lines, actively suppressing knowledge of their existence and power to maintain control. Critics dismiss ley lines as imaginative pseudoscience, attributing monument alignments to coincidence, practical considerations, or cultural traditions. Scientists argue there is no credible evidence that Earth is crisscrossed by mystical energy pathways. Yet, for those who embrace the ley lines theory, these hidden connections reveal a deeper truth about human history and the Earth's energies. They see ley lines as proof that ancient societies possessed a profound understanding of our planet, an understanding modern civilization has lost or intentionally forgotten. Stargates exist. That's the fascinating conspiracy theory proposing that ancient gateways or portals, capable of transporting individuals instantly across vast cosmic distances or into alternate dimensions, have existed on Earth for thousands of years. Believers argue that advanced civilizations or extraterrestrial visitors constructed these stargates, using them to travel and communicate throughout the universe. Supporters claim evidence of stargates can be found hidden within ancient myths, sacred texts, and archaeological sites around the world. Structures like Egypt's Great Pyramid, Stonehenge, or the mysterious Gate of the Sun in Bolivia are often cited as potential locations of these cosmic portals. Proponents argue ancient cultures knew how to activate these gates, allowing them to interact with distant worlds or dimensions beyond our own. Believers suggest that powerful institutions like governments or secret societies have discovered these ancient stargates, keeping their existence hidden from the public to control access to advanced knowledge and technology. Some even claim contemporary scientific projects, such as CERN's experiments, are modern attempts to reopen or replicate these ancient cosmic gateways. Critics view Stargate theories as imaginative fiction inspired by science fiction literature and popular media. They argue there's no credible scientific evidence supporting the existence of functional portals or instantaneous space travel. Yet for those convinced stargates represent a profound hidden truth, humanity has long been connected to the stars. They believe uncovering this lost technology could radically alter our understanding of reality, space exploration, and our place in the universe. The Vatican owns a space telescope for alien watch. That's the intriguing conspiracy theory, suggesting that the Vatican, one of the oldest and most influential religious institutions in the world, secretly monitors outer space to detect extraterrestrial life. Believers argue that the Vatican operates powerful astronomical observatories, including a telescope known as Lucifer, to study or even communicate with alien civilizations. Supporters claim this hidden initiative reveals the Vatican's awareness of intelligent life beyond Earth, and speculate that the Church is preparing humanity for eventual disclosure. They point to statements from Vatican astronomers who've publicly discussed the possibility of extraterrestrial life, interpreting these as hints at deeper knowledge concealed from the public. Believers suggest the Vatican may have ancient records or artifacts indicating past contact between humanity and extraterrestrial beings, and that their advanced telescopes are used to track possible return visits or ongoing alien activity in our solar system. Critics argue that these claims are distorted misrepresentations, noting that the Vatican's astronomical research, including its involvement in legitimate observatories, is transparent and openly published. They explain that the provocative nickname Lucifer was coined by astronomers unrelated to the Vatican, causing confusion and fueling conspiracy theories. Yet for those who accept this theory, the idea of the Vatican secretly scanning the cosmos adds another layer of mystery to the centuries-old institution. They see it as evidence that religious authorities may hold hidden truths about our universe, truths quietly observed through telescopes pointed toward the stars. Ancient giants once walked the earth. That's the captivating conspiracy theory, claiming that enormous beings, often described as towering figures of immense strength, existed alongside humanity in our distant past. Believers argue that stories of giants in myths, religious texts, and folklore across diverse cultures aren't just symbolic, they reflect real encounters with colossal humanoid creatures. Supporters point to archaeological discoveries, including oversized skeletal remains reportedly unearthed around the world, as proof these giants were real. They highlight biblical references like the Nephilim, giant warriors described in the Book of Genesis, as historical evidence rather than legend. Believers assert these ancient beings may have been descendants of extraterrestrials or advanced lost civilizations. Proponents claim powerful institutions or governments actively suppress evidence of giant remains, hiding or destroying discoveries to maintain the conventional historical narrative. They argue museums and academia intentionally dismiss or conceal findings of oversized bones and artifacts, fearful of rewriting human history. Critics dismiss these claims, emphasizing that supposed giant skeletons are usually misidentified animal bones, deliberate hoaxes, or exaggerated reports lacking credible evidence. They argue that myths of giants are metaphorical or allegorical, serving as symbolic lessons rather than literal historical accounts. Yet for believers, the theory of ancient giants reveals a hidden chapter in human history, suggesting that we once shared our world with beings far greater in size and strength. They see the suppression of this truth as a deliberate attempt to hide humanity's mysterious, extraordinary past, a past filled with giants whose existence has faded into myth and memory. The Ark of the Covenant is hidden in Ethiopia. That's the intriguing conspiracy theory, suggesting the legendary biblical artifact said to contain the original stone tablets of the Ten Commandments is secretly housed in the ancient Ethiopian town of Axum. According to believers, The Ark wasn't lost or destroyed, but carefully hidden away centuries ago, guarded in secrecy by Ethiopian Orthodox priests. Supporters point to the Church of St. Mary of Zion in Axum as the Ark's current resting place. They claim it's housed within a sacred chapel, guarded day and night by a single monk who dedicates his entire life to its protection. Only this monk, they say, is permitted to see the Ark, keeping it concealed from the outside world. Proponents reference historical accounts and ancient Ethiopian texts, claiming the Ark was brought to Ethiopia by Menelik I, the son of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. Believers argue that Ethiopian religious traditions and ceremonies strongly support the presence of the genuine Ark, preserving its secrets for thousands of years. Critics view this theory with skepticism, citing a lack of concrete evidence and questioning the historical accuracy of these accounts. They argue that multiple locations worldwide claim to house the true Ark, each without definitive proof. Yet, for those convinced, Ethiopia's guardianship of the Ark symbolizes a profound hidden history. They see the artifact not merely as a religious relic, but as a tangible connection to humanity's ancient past, a powerful truth carefully preserved, quietly waiting for the day it might finally be revealed. Luciferian symbolism in music videos. That's the controversial conspiracy theory claiming popular musicians and music industry executives intentionally embed occult, Luciferian, or satanic symbols into mainstream music videos. Believers argue these hidden messages aren't just creative expression or coincidence. They're deliberate rituals designed to influence public consciousness and promote a secret agenda. Supporters point to recurring imagery such as horns, pentagrams, inverted crosses, one-eye symbolism, and dark ritualistic scenes, asserting these are intentional references to Luciferian beliefs. They argue influential artists, knowingly or unknowingly, participate in this practice as a form of initiation, allegiance, or to gain fame and success through occult means. Proponents further claim that powerful record labels and industry leaders use these symbolic rituals to subtly shift cultural values, influencing younger generations by normalizing themes associated with darkness, rebellion, and hidden power. Critics dismiss the theory as paranoia or overactive imagination, asserting that symbolic references in music videos are simply artistic choices designed to provoke thought or gain attention rather than promote genuine occult practices. They argue symbolism is often misunderstood or exaggerated by conspiracy theorists. Yet, for believers, the presence of Luciferian symbolism in popular music represents more than just entertainment. It's evidence of a deeper, sinister influence quietly shaping society. To them, decoding these hidden messages is essential to uncovering truths about who truly controls the music industry, culture, and perhaps even humanity itself. The CIA controls Hollywood. That's the compelling conspiracy theory, suggesting the Central Intelligence Agency secretly influences the entertainment industry, especially Hollywood films, to shape public opinion, spread propaganda, and manipulate cultural attitudes. Believers argue this covert relationship between the CIA and movie studios is designed to subtly promote American political interests and control societal narratives. Supporters point to historical examples, such as documented collaborations between filmmakers and government agencies during wartime, as proof of deeper, ongoing manipulation. They argue the CIA actively reviews scripts, offers funding, and provides resources to films that align with specific political or ideological goals, influencing how events and global politics are portrayed on screen. Proponents highlight films that seem to predict real-world events, depict favorable portrayals of government agencies, or normalize controversial policies as evidence of hidden CIA influence. They claim Hollywood's portrayal of spies, terrorism, wars, and national security subtly shapes audience perceptions, preparing the public to accept government actions or ideologies. Critics acknowledge that government agencies have occasionally cooperated with filmmakers, but strongly reject the idea of systematic control or widespread manipulation. They argue Hollywood's motivations are primarily financial and artistic rather than political, and suggest conspiracy theories exaggerate these occasional partnerships. Yet, for believers, the CIA's alleged Hollywood connections represent a profound hidden influence. They see entertainment not merely as escapism, but as a powerful psychological tool, quietly shaping the collective beliefs and behaviors of millions, orchestrated from behind the scenes. Deepfake politicians are already replacing real ones. That's the chilling conspiracy theory, suggesting that artificial intelligence and deepfake technology are secretly being used to create realistic digital copies of political figures, replacing them entirely without the public ever noticing. Believers argue that these lifelike simulations deliver speeches, attend virtual meetings, and make public appearances, seamlessly deceiving the world. Supporters point to subtle anomalies in videos of politicians, strange glitches, unnatural movements, or odd facial expressions as evidence of deepfake manipulation. They suggest powerful groups or governments utilize this technology to maintain control, manipulate public opinion, or conceal the true fate of certain leaders. Proponents claim that deepfake politicians allow unseen forces to push hidden agendas, issuing statements or policies without accountability. They believe this technology may already be shaping global events, wars, elections, and crises, with humanity unaware of the deception. Critics dismiss these allegations, arguing that despite advances, deepfake technology isn't yet advanced enough to convincingly replicate high-profile figures in real time without detection. They warn such conspiracy theories encourage distrust in media and democratic institutions. Yet, for believers, the rise of deepfake politicians signals a disturbing new era, one in which truth and reality become dangerously blurred. They fear that unless exposed, this technological deception could fundamentally undermine democracy itself, turning politics into a puppet show performed entirely by digital illusions. Project Blue Beam. That's the intriguing conspiracy theory proposing that a secret government project aims to create a global illusion using advanced holographic technology to simulate religious or extraterrestrial events. Believers argue this elaborate deception will be designed to unite humanity under a single world government by creating mass panic, awe, or religious devotion through artificially created signs in the skies. Supporters claim that Project Blue Beam will use sophisticated projections, along with manipulated sound and electromagnetic signals, to create realistic appearances of divine beings, alien invasions, or apocalyptic scenarios. They argue these orchestrated events will exploit human belief systems, causing people worldwide to abandon their religions and willingly embrace a unified global leadership. Proponents often point to recent technological advances in holography, military research into psychological warfare, and alleged tests of holographic projections as evidence supporting the existence of Project Blue Beam. They assert this technology is already being secretly tested through unexplained aerial phenomena or mysterious lights observed globally. Critics dismiss Project Blue Beam as a baseless urban myth, lacking credible evidence. They argue the theory exaggerates the capability of holographic technology and underestimates public skepticism towards such extraordinary events. Yet, for believers, Project Bluebeam represents a terrifying possibility, the ultimate manipulation, where reality itself becomes a carefully controlled illusion. They fear this conspiracy is quietly unfolding, warning humanity to stay alert to signs in the skies, which may not be signs at all, but carefully staged tricks intended to reshape the world.